Hello guys, how are you doing? Today we're going to take a closer look at the difference between normal drones and FPV drones. Today I actually have a special guest with me here. This is Matthias. He also has his own YouTube channel where he does... What do you do?
Yeah, some tutorials about video editing and of course FPV.
FPV drones, yeah. He is a pro at flying FPV drones. Are you a pro yet?
Yes, a few.
A couple of months he's flying FPV drones. Yeah, so the overview for today is going to be, I'm going to explain you what's the actual main differences between both drone types. Afterwards, we're going to have a look at all of the benefits and disadvantages of both drone types, because there are actually a lot of differences when it comes to them. And in the end, we're going to do a little drone battle, which you saw in the beginning. And we're just going to compare which of both drones is actually more cinematic. Let's just get right into it. Come on guys, look at this. Before we get into drones, a lot of you guys always ask me where I live because it always looks so beautiful at all these places where I am at. And yeah, I'm living in Bavaria in Germany, which is the southern part of Germany. And yeah, to be honest, it is quite a beautiful area. Right now it just kind of looks like Scandinavia. All of the trees are filled with snow. And yeah, it's just a perfect day to fly the drone. Does that look good? All right. So the most common type of drones you probably know is the ones from DJI. I myself fly the DJI Mavic Air 2. I'm flying it now for a couple of months. I'm loving it. They have a camera with a gimbal already built into the drone, and they also have a lot of different sensors and a lot of software, which makes flying a lot easier. But there is one more drone type that kind of entered the filmmaking scene, which is FPV drones. That you can hear right now because Matthias is flying. So these drones can only be used with goggles that you have to put on, and you have to do a lot of fine-tuning when it comes to the controller and all that kind of stuff, because everything is just manual. There's nothing that this drone does for you. It's just completely up to you how you fly it. That's why it takes a lot of practice to actually get good at it. If you've seen one of the last videos where I spent some time with Phil from Cinequads, you might have already seen my first try of flying FPV. Oh fuck. Yeah. Didn't really go too well. If you haven't seen that video already, definitely make sure to check it out. Yeah, I didn't really train in the simulator before I did that. So yeah, there's nothing else I can say for that. So first of all, I would suggest that we just look at the different benefits and disadvantages of both drones. Okay, so before we look at all the aesthetics of both drone types, like which one actually looks better when you just look at the videos, we're actually going to talk about the facts. So good thing about the DJI drones is that you just buy it and you unpack it and you can just fly this drone out of the box. While with FPV, you have to kind of build your own drone by yourself. That was actually one of the reasons why I didn't really get into FPV, because it was just way too much work for me. Another plus point of normal drones is that you have a really fast learning curve, because those drones are stabilized and they have a couple of systems that make it a lot easier for you to fly. Like I said before, with FPV drones, you have to first practice in the simulator and you have to adjust everything with every flight, and it just takes a lot of experience to pull off really cool shots while still flying it safely. And safety is actually the next point, because on all of these DJI drones you have different sensors on the drone that kind of stop the drone if you come too close to an obstacle. I never fly with those sensors on, because if you have them on, you can't really fly that close to trees and all that kind of stuff. Probably that's the reason why I crashed so many drones. So with the sensors and with the lights and also with the return to home function on the DJI controllers, you are just a little bit more safe. There are more safety features in this drone, and the other ones in the FPV drones, they are just manual and you have to take care of every setting yourself. It's less safe, but on the other hand, you also have more opportunities for movements, because you are not bound to only fly your drone like this or this, but you can just fly your drone like that. You can flip the drone, you can do anything. You're just limitless when it comes to the movements of your drone. And in my opinion, the return to home function on the DJI controllers is actually a huge benefit. Like, it's something that I probably use on almost every flight. With FPV drones, as soon as you lose the signal, everything just turns pitch black in your goggles, and it's almost safe to say that you're going to crash. While this one, it just stays in the air. With return to home, it just flies up and it comes back. So I think that this is actually a huge benefit because you have such a wide area in which you can fly with the normal DJI drones. And with the FPV drones, you kind of have to stick in a specific area to not lose signal, because if you lose signal, you're f***ed. One thing which is absolutely amazing about FPV drones is the drone speed. Because with FPV drones, you can fly up to 200 kilometers per hour. And with the normal DJI drones, you can just fly something like, I don't know, 50 kilometers per hour. So there's a huge difference in that. And that gives FPV drones a huge benefit over normal drones, because you can chase cars, you can chase boats, you can chase anything. Anything that moves fast. That is a big deal. But those high speeds that you get out of FPV drones also have their downsides, because the footage that you get right out of the camera is going to be really, really shaky. While with the footage that you get out of normal stabilized DJI drones is completely stable out of camera. You don't have to do any post-stabilization. But with all of the FPV drones, you actually have to use some software which analyzes the different gyro data, and therefore it's going to make all of the footage very smooth. Another downside of the normal DJI drones is GPS limitations, because it might happen that you just can't launch your drone if you're in a no-fly zone. And with FPV drones, you can basically launch your drone from anywhere because it doesn't have a GPS signal. So I'm not saying that you should launch your drone anywhere close to airports or something like that. You should always stay within the limitations and laws and respect that. But I just want to say that there is the option to fly FPV drones anywhere. When it comes to batteries, DJI drones are a clear winner for sure. With those drones, you can fly up to something like 30 minutes, while with FPV drones, you can just fly for a couple of minutes until the battery is drained. But one thing which sucks with these drones is if you crash it. Which already sometimes happened. So if you might crash your drone and if something severe breaks, I don't know, for example, the camera or the gimbal, with this one you have to send it to DJI and just wait for a couple of weeks in order for them to replace it. With FPV drones, you basically always have access to spare parts very, very quickly, and you can just replace anything at all times, because it's not like a complete system like those DJI drones. That's another benefit for FPV. So yeah, I hope that these benefits and disadvantages of both drone types gave you a good overview, and now we're going to take a look at which of those drones looks more cinematic. Let's go.
Let's go.
First impression?
Yeah, was really nervous, but I think I got a great shot.
Did you fly under the bridge?
Yep, I tried and it worked out. It was tight for an FPV drone, it was tight.
You think I can fly mine through it?
No way.
You don't think so?
Only the FPV drone.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. going under the bridge. Easy peasy. Whoa. Dude, that looks amazing. Like for FPV pilots, this might be hard, but for me, I got it. I got it all. To be honest, like Matthias definitely had the better conditions because right now the sun came behind some clouds, so it doesn't really look that epic anymore. That's definitely a pro for you.
Where is it?
I'm flying close to the street. I'm just trying to get some variety in my shots because I mean I can fly this thing quite far away.
That's not fair. Whoa.
My hands are dying. Holy shit. What does it look like? Do you see anything?
All white, everything.
He's complaining that he doesn't get the nice cars in the shots because I just had a lot of luck with some cars coming into my drone shots. Beautiful landing. Beautiful
It's
landing.
okay, it's okay.
How was the flight?
Let's see, no cars.
No cars, there were a couple of cars.
No, I didn't see anyone. Yeah.
Now they're coming, now they're coming.
Yeah.
Let's pause here. So do you still remember earlier in this video when I was explaining both drone types and Matthias was flying his drone in the background? That you can hear right now because Matthias is flying. Both of us already flew our drones at that time, but Matthias thought he'd go for another run while I filmed my video. Well, here's what he saw at that time. Dude! What are you doing, man? What happened?
I don't know, the bridge is way too small.
Dude, did it crash into the river?
One good message, I've got the drone. A bad message, I don't know where the GoPro is.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude. Holy shit. Okay, that's what I talked about. The learning curve is a lot slower with FPV drones. Fortunately, the snow isn't really that hard, so it doesn't break. But on the other side, it's also kind of difficult to find a GoPro in that deep snow. Let's hope that we can find it. Man.
You peed at the wrong place, man.
What kind of move did you try that you crashed it?
Yeah, just even closer down the bridge at the river.
Okay.
And I touched the snow and then it just rolled over and that's it.
FPV drone still there. GoPro just flipped off here. So what's the plan?
Yeah, I'll have a look at the...
He actually always records with his goggles, which I think is such a smart move because now he can actually look into the feed. In that way, hopefully, we can recover the GoPro.
Yeah, let's try.
Man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, right into this snow. I think I could find the GoPro.
I think it's further in the front.
Yeah, further in the front.
Okay.
Right here or just on the other side?
Holy shit, that's quite the jump here. This snow is so deep. I mean, it could be anywhere because probably it just flipped. I think it landed further back there. We've now been looking for the GoPro for like 20 minutes, but it's just no use looking in here.
Better just the GoPro than the whole drone.
That's true. Fortunately, Matthias was smart and he changed his SD card before he flew for the second time. Good on you!
Yeah.
I mean, these things happen. It really sucks that it has to cost a camera, but it's still better than the whole drone.
That's FPV.
That's FPV. You hear it? That's FPV. That's what you get when I help you searching your drone?
Yeah, thanks.
Perfect. Thanks. You saved your SD card, right?
Luckily.
So this is actually your own product, right?
Yeah, just released some days ago and it saved the whole footage of the day.
Just because of the card holder.
Yeah.
Let me show it actually. This looks quite cool, man. It's a lot better than that's the SD card case I use. So if you want to have a smaller one, you can definitely go to the link in the description and check it out. Come here. Okay, man. What do you think? Who's the winner?
What a question!
To be honest, like in today's video, it wasn't really about like battling ourselves. We're definitely like at different stages when it comes to flying drones. It's just a whole different thing, but it was about actually comparing FPV to normal drones. So basically, which drone is more cinematic in the end? And to be to be honest, like for me, it's also quite difficult to choose a winner because like both drone types, they're just completely different. And let's go into some details why I think that. So if there's one thing that I really take away from this test and by reviewing this footage is that both drones are just completely unique and you can't get the same shots with one drone as with the other one. For example, with FPV, you can fly really, really close to objects, you can do flips, you can do dives, and with the normal drones, you have other options. You can just do slow movements, you can do pan ups, pan downs, you can do really, really stable orbits around an object, which looks absolutely amazing in my opinion. One of my favorite shots to do with drones. And also you can do top-down shots. That's something you can't do with FPV. So all in all, I just think that both drone types have a very unique character when it comes to their shots. FPV always seems very, very raw. You feel like you're actually flying and it always feels very action-loaded. While with the normal drone shots you get, everything seems a little bit more polished. Everything is super stable. It's a bit more calm. Yeah, it just has a more simple character to it. And for that reason, I think that both drones have their scenarios where they perform the best. So FPV drones will definitely perform better when it comes to action sports and when it comes to cars and anything that just moves quickly, where you have to have that speed and where you kind of want that action-loaded feeling in your footage. But it's not the right drone for everything, and with normal drones, it's definitely the better choice if there's just like a very quiet environment and you want to capture that. As always, it just always makes sense to kind of choose the tools for the actual story you want to tell. You have to think about what do you want the viewer to feel if he looks at the footage. I just think that both of these drone types have their unique standing and both drone types should be used for the right environments and for the right story. It's kind of like comparing gimbal shots with handheld shots. Both of them can look great if you do it right, but you just have to pick the right one for your story. So obviously we don't really have a winner here. I hope that I could give you a good overview of which drone you should go for. I hope that you enjoyed this video and also I'm sure you enjoyed the video. A huge thank you to you, Matthias. I think it was a really cool day. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
I hope you did as well.
Yeah.
See you in the next one, guys. Peace out.